Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Now this one is for Crysis 2, the multiplayer demo for the Xbox 360. I'm pretty certain it came out for the PC possibly last week sometime, or maybe it was the same day, I'm not quite certain. But the PlayStation 3 multiplayer demo will be out on the 15th of March. So best part of a couple of weeks away, or just under a couple of weeks away, which is a little bit unfortunate, you know, but I guess PS3 users, and I'm one of them, but obviously I've got a 360 as well. But PS3 users, I think, can quite justifiably, you know, find it a little bit frustrating that they're constantly kind of given the rough end of the deal. But I guess it's no big deal. The game, I'm pretty certain, comes out the same day. But it would have been, you know, quite nice for PlayStation 3 users, I guess, to be playing this at the same time as 360 owners and PC users. But it's just one of them things, I guess. So anyway, so this map is called Pier 17. Now, as you can probably see in the top right-hand corner of the screen, we're winning this 31 or 32-28. So I joined the game as soon as it had already started. It's a case of first to 50. So I think the match probably lasts for, I don't know, just a few minutes. And then what I've done is I've put the second map in, which is called Skyline. And that's the full game. And I do alright, but not particularly good. This one I think I do alright. So I think this is probably the second time actually I played this map. Now, I'm going to try and just comment about my feelings about the game in general, but obviously now and again I'll probably just say something relevant, you know, what's going on screen at the time. But my first reactions to playing this game, I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. There's something odd about it. For me, it feels quite similar to the playability of Far Cry 2. If anyone's aware of that, if you've played that, it's kind of got, for me, a real kind of tinny kind of feeling to it, which is probably the worst description ever, because people go, tinny, what do you mean tinny? Like, I know what I mean, but how do I describe it? It's quite lightweight, I guess. You know, when you're shooting someone, it doesn't really feel like you're making contact. At least it doesn't for me. Take something like Call of Duty, you know, that real feeling of impact. That you don't get that in this, or I don't feel you do anyway. It's very much reminiscent of the Far Cry feeling, Far Cry 2. And it just feels generally just quite light when you're running around. Now, I'm not going to be one of these idiots who comes and goes, oh, it's only a beta, they're going to change it. No, this is pretty much the final game, obviously, now. What you see is what you get. You know, the game comes out in 2 weeks, they're not really going to change anything. But I think it's 2 weeks, or maybe it's the week after that, 24th maybe, I'm not quite certain. But either way, pretty much what we're playing now, what we're seeing in the demo, is how it's going to look, it's how it's going to feel. I guess they can do patches and all the rest of it, but that's not really going to change the actual basic mechanics of the game, which is what it is, you know, how it plays at the moment. But there's some nice little features, but I mean, even there, like you saw, like when you're running, you can slide across the ground. Even that's like Far Cry 2. And I don't know, my first impressions, I just expected a lot more. Now, the team deathmatches, I'm sure there's other, you know, the headquarters or whatever equivalent there may be in the game. But the team deathmatches in the demo, which is what I'm playing here, are only 6v6. Now, I guess that's pretty much standard these days in shooters. But I was just expecting a little bit more. It just seems quite lightweight. I was hoping for maybe, you know, 24 on 24, 32 on 32, whatever it may be. Now, I know PC users will turn around and say, well, just get it on PC then, you know, or a Mac or whatever. But I'm not really a PC or Mac gamer. I can't really sit at a computer and, you know, move the mouse around. I just don't get on with it. I've tried it. I'm not awful at it, but I'm certainly not very good at it either. So I just prefer the controller and putting the computer on. You know, sometimes, especially if you're working with computers as well, the last thing you want to do is just start playing games in front of it all day. For me, anyway. Occasionally it's fine, but generally I like my consoles. Well, pretty much always like my consoles. But anyway, like I say, yeah, there's just something about this game which I don't really like. In saying that, I do like it a lot more than I did yesterday. Now, at the end of my pickups video yesterday, I kind of fleetingly mentioned it for 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And I said that it was shocking, and maybe that was a little bit harsh in hindsight. I am getting more used to it, and obviously the more you play a game, the more you get used to the controls, the layout, the feel of the game. And I'm coming around to it a little bit more than I definitely was. But there's something about it which, to me, still says disappointed. I'm just disappointed by it. But obviously it is a demo. come the full game, which I will get, it's just a case of will I get it when it comes out, or will I get it, you know, like a few weeks or a few months later. But by the time I do get it, you know, I'll have the instructions in front of me, I'll be able to know what does what. Because, I mean, maybe it's in the menu of the demo, but I didn't really look. But it didn't really tell me what the controls were. And it was very much a case of just start the demo and just try and work it out for myself, what does what. So I know when you press like the D-pad left and right and up and down, it kind of comes up with several options, like a grenade you can throw, which is appalling, and I might touch upon that later on, or in a few seconds. But yeah, but there's a hell of a lot of options that you can do. Now, when you shoot people, you may have seen so far, and you probably will see for the rest of the video, when you shoot someone, like a beam of light comes out of their body, and a little like dog tag will be there. Now, the idea is to collect the dog tags. When you collect the dog tags, it racks up like a kill streak, which is quite a nice way of doing it. I guess it kind of stops campers from getting kill streaks. So, you know, if you're sitting in a corner or high in a building, and pretty much every item you see you can jump on, which is quite nice, you know, so you've got lots of different vantage points. But if someone's out there just camping from a distance, then they're not really going to rack up the kill streaks, because as you can see there, you've got to go over the body of the person you shot to collect the dog tag to rack up the kill streak. So that's quite nice. That might prevent people from, you know, doing the old camping, if anyone out there has a problem with that. I'm not really bothered about, you know, camping. It doesn't really bother me. It's part of the game. If you don't like it, A, grow up, you know, B, accept it's part of the game, C, get on with it. You know, it's just part of the game. Some people like to do it. Everyone's got their own style. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean to say someone else can't do it. And if you know someone's camping in a particular part of the map, stay away. You know, because if they keep getting you and you keep going back to get them, then stop going back to try and get them. It's very simple. But at the same time, I do agree it can be frustrating, but just let them get on with it. You know, we all do it to a degree. Now, I completely screwed up here. I don't know how that happened, by the way. This guy was looking the other way, yet somehow, I don't even watch the kill cam, I was so annoyed with it. You know, but somehow he manages to turn around and get me with one shot, which it might have been a melee. Now, the melee system works, I think it's one kill with a hit from behind, or one hit is a kill from behind, I should say, and I think it's 2 or maybe 3 if you hit them face on. So it's kind of relatively familiar or similar to Halo, if you like. It's not too bad, but I'd much preferred it if it was maybe just a one hit, one kill, but then again, that might be a little bit unrealistic. But still, it's just a game. So like I say, the kill streak thing works quite well, and once you've racked up your kill streaks, it tells you on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and I think you hold in the Y button, the yellow button. That's on the 360, obviously. And I think for 3, it's a radar. See, again there, you know, I meleeed him, it didn't make a difference, yet he just shot me once or twice, and that was it, and he got the kill, and it didn't really make much sense to me. It was a little bit frustrating. But I think what it is, again, I've only played, like, the demo 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 maps. But I think what it is as you rank up, you get stronger. Your character, you know, it gets more physical, it gets more armor, and that will help you get kills easier. I'm pretty certain that's what it is, because there's been some strange examples where the other person has got, you know, more kills, or he's got a kill quicker than I have, and I'm thinking, what the hell happened there? That just didn't make any sense. But it's probably due to the fact that he's ranked up more than me. He's got better ammunition, better armor, better skills, whatever it may be. So, like I said, I'm sure I said at the start of the map, this is called Skyline. Now, there's 2 maps in the multiplayer demo. There's the Skyline, which is this one, of course, and there's the PS17, which is the one I covered at the start of the video. Now, they're both pretty good, but they are both extremely small. And I'm pretty certain this is going to be very indicative of the way Crysis 2 is. Small maps. And after playing the likes of Bad Company 2, and, say, MAG, and even Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops, some of the maps there are pretty big, and it's somewhat of a disappointment and a big come down to, you know, start playing these maps. They're very tiny. They're very, you can't really, well, you can hide, but you will get found eventually. And I don't know, I've got a bit of a problem with that. Now again, PC owners will probably turn around and say, we'll get it on the PC. The maps are huge, and I'm sure that's the case. But as I touched upon, PC gaming, not really at this stage for me. Maybe one day. So there's a guy using a vantage point to try and get someone. The big disadvantage to his vantage point is that obviously anybody could see him out in the open there. And he may have got a kill, he may not have done, but straight away I got him. So, you know, you could ask, was it really worth it by him to do that? And then I jump on top to get the dog tag. Now, it just went as soon as I said that, but on the bottom left of the screen, it said 1 out of 3 collected. which, as I touched upon before, it looks as if, I don't know if you can customize it in terms of choosing your kill streaks, but as it stands, that's 1 kill towards the 3 that I need for the radar. So as soon as I go over this one, any second now, it should come up on the bottom left-hand corner, but it hasn't yet. There it is, see, 2 out of 3. Now, what I should have done, the guy I just killed there, I should have collected his dog tag, because he was spawned any second now, here we go, using a cloak device, which is, you press RB for that to happen. But as you do all these things, like the RB, which puts like a cloak device on so you go temporarily invisible, it drains your energy, which you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. Also what drains your energy is running. So that is kind of clever in a way. You know, you've really got to think about what you're doing, because if you sprint too much, your energy is going to run down, and then just the slightest knock is going to finish you off. So really, it's all about conserving your energy and combining that with, obviously, killing your opponent before he gets you. So it's a nice little touch. As you can see now, I just did a little bit of a sprint there. My energy went down, and now, you know, I stop sprinting, it goes back up. Starting again, it goes back down. It's a nice little feature. It does take a bit of getting used to. I didn't like it to begin with, but now I'm starting to see how that can have a real good tactical kind of edge in a game. It obviously can work to your advantage, and it can work against you as well. So, but it's good because it pretty much evens it up for both teams. So I quite like that. Now, as we probably saw a minute ago, when it comes to throwing a grenade, I think that is awful. That is easily, possibly, one of the weakest parts of the game. It just doesn't really feel like, A, you're holding the grenade, and again there, it just doesn't feel like you're throwing it. It's just, there's something weird about it. It's rubbish, quite frankly, and very similar to Mag. You know, that kind of like a very half-arsed effort. And you think, well, you know, they've made the game look pretty nice. It's not the best-looking game in the world, but it's not too bad. And in fact, it's very similar aesthetically to Rainbow Six Vegas. It's got that kind of look and feel to it. All very kind of like, I don't know, the graphics look like kind of almost cardboardy. Again, tinny, cardboardy. My choice of words isn't the best, not the most descriptive. But you'll probably see what I mean if you've played Vegas and Vegas 2 in particular. It's just got that kind of feel and look about it. But like I was saying about the grenades, the biggest problem I have with it, it's not so much the animation, which is quite poorly done, but it's also the perception of depth or lack of it. You don't really know how far you're throwing it, and invariably you throw it somewhere you didn't want to, and it's just really poorly done. And like I said, I guess you'll see if you play it. So I do recommend downloading it. Obviously, the game will look a lot nicer on a HD TV. I just haven't yet got a high-definition capture card, so that's why it looks a bit rubbish. But I just wanted to put this out there before YouTube becomes plastered with Crysis 2 multiplayer demos. Anyway, guys, try the demo out, see what you think. See you later.